Welcome to Complex 629. Again, this is the sponsored segment of the stream, quote-unquote sponsored, where people send me the games that they made and they ask me to play the games. I'm sorry, I wasn't really aware because I don't check my emails very often. This game actually was emailed to me on March 26th, so this is actually getting more and more recent. Hello, I hope you find this email in good spirits. The demo for this game just released. So this is a demo of a game called Complex 629. And it's interesting because it seems like it's a bit of a JRPG thing, but I couldn't really tell because the way that the game looks and feels, and you can kind of see it here, it feels a lot like a bad dream or a really bad trip. And so I'm curious to see how far this game goes, because as you see, you can move your character's hands, both of them separately. And I think this is a mechanic that stays with the game as a whole. But let's just go into the game. Why am I can just collect coins? This is made in Game Maker too, which is, I think, hi Blue, welcome back. Is it time to get back to work? If so, you have to get some things. To build you magnum opus, close enough, you will need 4 aluminum foil and 1 aluminum tape. Once you get them, bring them to our apartment and affix them to your sculpture. The foil can be bought at the supermarket. You have to get the tape from a resident. Watch out for the grandfather who stalks the halls. Dig through snow with the right and left mouse buttons. You can also skip through dialogue with space. Okay, get going, babe. I'll see you around. Thanks, honey. So yeah, this is why I wanted to try this game. There's something weird about the way that you can move around. And I was going to say a game maker of Undertale fame, but I don't know if that's like accurate. It's like this is just a generic game engine. Like no one looks at Unity and then says like, "Oh, Genshin Impact fame." But let's just say of Game Maker, it's built-in Game Maker of Undertale fame. It's a horror RPG game of some sort. And I didn't realize that you actually just carry things around. This is actually a cool mechanic. This is quite neat. I think in terms of mechanics and how they go, the idea of having hands that you can pull things with you to manipulate the environment seems pretty cool. Built-in Godot, Root Trees, Dead fame. Yeah, exactly. It's to be fair though, I will say Godot of all engines seems to have a lot of games that pride themselves on being built with it. Like you know that game, Tiny Glades. That game is very proud of the fact that it's built entirely within Rust, using this like Rust game engine. Although they apparently had to go fully custom at some point because the performance wasn't that so good for what they wanted to do. So there is some level of pride for like what you end up using as a tool. Yeah, it's because Unity sucks. Yeah, that is true. I still think about that like disastrous move with their so I mean it's been a number of disastrous moves. One, the development ecosystem has been splitting between like 2 entirely different ways of doing things across everything from graphics to gameplay systems. 2, you have like completely strange business decisions which takes away money from other ventures like buying the Weather FX studios to try to compete with Unreal Engine on special effects for shows, which they failed at because The Mandalorian was made with Unreal Engine, which says to me that Unity, despite having the studio for FX, couldn't compete. That's like saying something, okay? And then they do the whole, pay for every single install. It's like, buddy, like you don't even know what you're doing at this point. Inu Escape. What? This is a very cool menu. This whole game oozes a certain style, and it's interesting because it's like it feels like it should be almost like a Flash game style, but that's not true. It is actually its own feeling game. It just feels reminiscent because I think during that Flash era, there was a certain level of experimentation that we don't really see very often nowadays. I really want to say that during that Flash era, we saw the most amount of styles come into birth. It was like a renaissance for like art in its own weird way, right? This is how I feel like with here, and I see what this is my statue. Like I see that this is the sculpture that that character was telling me about. Call to the devil, and the devil did come. I said to the devil, "Devil, do you like drums? Do you like cigarettes, dominoes, and rum?" He said, "Only sundown, show days, Christmas. Some days end when I need a few friends. Now and again, I could never hope to keep them." thought to give friends what I thought that they wanted. Never had they needed a good friend as I've been. What does that even mean? I'm assuming that saved my game, but I don't really know. Because I got something there. Inu Escape. I don't know why it says Inu Escape. You can hold 5 consumables and use them by pressing QD. Okay. I have a journal. Oh, that's a journal.
As a response to the Second World War, my intent was to construct a new hope upon the possession of tranquility. Roosevelt Spain, 6 episodes used to form this and scarlet. Complex arisen by my grand memories it would harness.
Please a clap on your end so it sounds, brilliant. This is what I expected. This is exactly what I was hoping for. You say what? I say masterpiece. This is exactly what I expected. Again, this is why I wanted to play this game. It had that vibe of that era of Newgrounds, Flash games, where it felt like every day there was a new concept being birthed into existence. Like, our character, after the Second World War, is taking the body of Franklin D. Roosevelt's prey and turning it into something to keep him alive or something. And then the voice, the way that is voiced in that weird almost... There's an instrument that you can do where you blow air into it, and then you can press the keyboard to change the pitch. That's what that sounds like. I just described autotune. Wow. Not every service needs to have features anyway. Pick something to specialize in so you can get loyalty and corner a market. Yeah, but now you're thinking too smart, right? For those at the top, simply want more. It's just a weird level of greed that came out of Unity that didn't really make sense. And I imagine now they're really suffering from it because Godot did get a lot of development time and changes over time, which is interesting. Granted, it's also still like a very solo project in the sense of what you can do with it. Like, I think they only just finalized, for instance, the physics engine to use Jolt instead of whatever they had homegrown last time. So, like, it's still gonna take time to get there, but even just the fact that, like, Unreal has done nothing and just has stayed the same, and is still kind of winning in that sense, is enough to make me go, I don't know why Unity did that, because they just gave a free lunch to them. Even if it's a small amount of lunch, it's a small enough and good enough free lunch to make them go, yes, it's over. This on top of the fact that Unreal Engine is being used for like larger games more and more and more. Whereas Unity, it feels like a lot of people, at least indie game devs, feels like they're slowly stepping away from it because of what it's done. But maybe that's anecdotal. Because every Unity game that I've ever played has this message now of like, I hate Unity. I don't really know why like I don't know why it's there if they're still using it. There's too much trash in the way. Ah! What was that? Jesus Christ, that scared me. Sorry, that thing scared the fuck out of me. Okay, so I need to remind all of you, this is a horror game, and I'm a screamer. For those of you who are new to the channel, because I feel like there's a fair amount of you, even in the VOD viewers. I am a screamer. You're just lucky that my microphone is tuned in such a way that it doesn't peak, nor do you hear my screaming. I spent a lot of time on the audio quality. It makes it worse because you don't hear the nuance in my voice, so you can't hear when I change my voice. But you hear less of me when I scream. Yeah, Unity tried to beat Unreal at its own game and ended up losing the war. Yes, they may have won the battle, but they've lost the war. It's anecdotal for you too. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because I use that phrase in TFT, Teamfight Tactics. Last set in TFT, you could field children. Like, your units could be children, Jinx and Vi. Powder and Powder and Violet. And every time I would use Powder, because she sucks, she would die, right? And so anytime someone beat me, I would say, sure, you won the battle, but you killed a child. And like, that's gonna stay with you forever. I appealed to the idea of guilt tripping somebody. Used to clear out snow in mass. Oh my god, thank you. So how do I use this exactly? Mulberry's mirror glimmers bright and melts out. Mulberry's mirror glimmers bright and melts out snow around it. Equip them and use them by pressing E. Oh. Oh my god, it's so much better. And I like how it's called Mulberry's mirror. Like this game as a whole has a lot of weird elements of it's the way that it tells its story feels nonsensical. And the way that it names these things and the way that these things are, you really just feel like you're in a strange place. You saw it coming. I do the monotonous trash movement for a while, so that I'm not expecting the scary. Yeah, it was an effective technique because I wasn't even aware of it. And it's easy to forget that this is a horror game because of the journal. Like this alone, that's like them saying Franklin D. Roosevelt was enough to make you forget. What was that? Let me walk over here. It's like a fly or something. It's weird. What's interesting is that this place seems to be a building, or like my room of some kind. As if I should be here in some way. Also, this is not trash, this is snow. I just realized that it just told me that this is snow. I'm curious if this game actually is meant to take place after World War II, like within that time period, because the character's motivations begin then, but does it mean that it is still in that time zone? I'm not sure. And if you find more of these items that help you clear snow, how important is it as a mechanic that we need to pick things up and throw them around the entire game? I can imagine it might be a little annoying to have to deal with the entire game, clearing piles of snow. And I'm also curious why there's an exit on one side, and then where this leads then, because what's the point of having the exit and this side if it... Like, what exactly does the path open up to? Like, how much of this is your sort of, like, a generic RPG fare where you have secret pathways that lead to, like, super cool stuff, right? So far, it's just mirrors. Money! You're right. You know what? To be fair, I'm not thinking about the fact that I have $2,000 just from moving snow. And you know what's crazy? I have a money life hack for you. If you live in a cold region like I do within Canada, one of the best ways to make money is to clear snow, because you can actually charge a lot of money to like clear snow, and if you do it for enough clients and like fast enough, you can make a very fair amount. Because it's not that hard to clear snow from most places, right? Like, especially if you have the vehicle, it's not that bad to like do it. You can just plow it. But if even if you don't have a plow, if you have a good enough shovel and like snowblower, it's pretty good. And because you have those, you can charge like a premium, and people will just pay it because you know that video that I always play of like of this dude in Quebec, and he always goes like, "Christosti, the Carlis," and he's like really pissed off about the like snowfall. Here, this one. This is every person's reaction to snow, even if you've lived here your entire life. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, sorry. But this video, where's the video? I'm trying to find the exact video. Oh, here we go. Pissed off French guy, but he's not like he is a French guy, but he's specifically Canadian French because of the things that he says. Fed up of snow. .mov. I want you to know that if you're Quebecois and you're listening to this, this is like, or like if you're not Quebecois, what he's saying doesn't really make sense. But like the things that he's saying is akin to like this is as heavy as swearing as you can possibly get.
Neige de tabarnak. De calice de neige de tabarnak. Neige de bout en esti.
This is the heaviest anger that you'll ever see a Canadian get to. This is the most swearing that you'll ever hear from a French Canadian.
J'étais curé, c'est de la neige, tabarnak. As-tu compris? J'étais curé. Attends,
And he doesn't stop. He just keeps going. He just keeps going. If you've never been here, like, there's no way to explain to you how satisfying what he's doing is, and there's no way to explain to you, like, why he's, like, hitting the driveway with the shovel initially. It's because the bottom layer is complete ice. What's crazy is that he's also incredibly accurate that he can hit the stick. Your parents made you shovel the driveway a bunch, and then when you moved out, they bought a snowblower. It's actually cruel. Tabernacle indeed. This is you when it goes below 4 degrees. So it's interesting because, like, I'm still good with a little bit of snowfall, but yeah, once the snowfall gets to this level, with the mounds that you have to make get up that high, then I go, I'm giving up. He missed. He missed. And what's crazy, right, is that his neighbors don't even care. His neighbors are probably looking out the window and then saying, me too, friend. Me too, mon ami. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The trick is that every person in Canada feels that. So when you want to make money, you simply offer them the service of like shoveling their snow, and you can make a lot of money. So the fact that you get $2,000 from picking up snow is actually not unreasonable, given the amount of like hate that people have for snow. You're from an even snowier locale, so you suffered longer than us spoiled Torontonians. Well, one, I'm not Torontonian. I just talk about Toronto as if it's my place, but you will never know where I am. I'm just somewhere within Ontario. But true, I do agree that the Torontonians are spoiled. Yeah, because it's like true. It's like there are worse places to be, like within Canada, that gets even worse weather concerns. But I will say this: the one thing that I do remember from Toronto, the snow, the way that the snow was, the way that the snow moved, the way. What the fuck? Because I'll hear many Torontonians complain about the like, subway, but I do agree that it's still surprising to me that the subway cannot accommodate for the snowfall, despite it never changing. The lighting in this game is very weird, by the way. It's actually very atmospheric. Sometimes the lighting will open up on different edges depending on where you are. You'll see glimpses of something off screen, but then it disappears quickly. And then, for some reason, nothing had like a whole conversation with me, but I don't know what that was. Like, this is a very genuinely strange game. That I could see this. I could see this being on a top Newgrounds game list of all time, which is not an insult. I actually think that this game is fantastic. I think that this game is really, really good in that it captures exactly that weird era of like strange oddities. And really, I could see this being something akin to Salad Fingers. Oh fuck, I'm gonna die. What happens if I die? Uh-huh. Well, that's what happens when I die. Yeah, you mean you like to talk about TO like that, but you've never lived in it. Hi, Blue. Hi, Blue. Got good and bad news. The bad is that you're dead. The good is that you can revive. It just costs some money. I'll pay you the boots ahead, and the gate will open. Thanks, Mr. Rabbit. That's been put in this... What the fuck am I? So, the artwork also reminds me a lot of Faith, which I played before I started streaming. But that game in particular had the same style of weirdly... Well, Faith in particular is fully rotoscoped. This one isn't. But this one still feels a bit odd in the way that the artwork makes you feel uncomfortable because of the fidelity. It's like not too nice looking that it makes you go... You can understand the details, and so it leaves more to your imagination, where you can start to sort of hallucinate certain details. And it makes you go, what the hell is that? In a way, it's like your brain is reeling from the shock of not being able to understand what it's seeing. Similar to how something might like jump on you in the middle of the night, but it's just a squirrel that has rabies. $3,000 KR. What 3,000 K Kronen? It costs 3,000 Kronen to open that door? How do I open the door? Open. I'm using my hands, but it's not opening. Please. So, this is the only one that I can go to. For now. I'm assuming you have to get a new one every single time. Because it changes every single time. But it is interesting to see the enemy here with all the snow around you. Because it is a little bit annoying to have to die, come back, and then move the snow out of the way so that you can maneuver. The mechanic is cool for exploration, but because the game feels a bit like those stealth element games where you need to like have the right stealth setup to survive, it can be somewhat frustrating. In that if you don't have the right set of items to help you carry forward, it can be more annoying to have to restart, but maybe it's just for certain sections. Because this, for instance, what the hell is going on here? Hey, you want to get pumped? I'll be completely honest, Blue. And I know I said it wouldn't, but I might be spending more time scrolling TikTok than actually training. What the fuck did I just read? But I found this guy, Sam Sulek. And he's such a sweetheart. And motivating as well. So I'd say the time was well spent. Or neutrally spent. Oh, fuck. Do any of you know who Sam Sulek is? He's... he's this guy who does a bunch of fitness stuff on TikTok, and he's like really huge. And he's actually seen very often with the Trend Brothers, I think. So him and the Trend Brothers do a lot of different collab things. The Trend Brothers are two brothers. Sorry, the Trend Twins are two twins who do Tren, as in like the like drug, like a Tren, in order to get buff. And he does collabs. Basically, he's in the gym bro section of TikTok. He's like he is a gym bro through and through and through. But it's like interesting in the sense that like gym bros can be either like really wholesome, like Jeff Nippard, or they can be very very or like Mike Israel, or they can be very very bad in like other ways. I haven't watched enough of this stuff to figure out if it's like really bad or if they're really good or like which way they lean. But all I know is that he's jacked, and he's I vaguely remember him being fairly honest about his roid use. But it's fascinating. It's basically from that side of like the fitness realm where they're more open about the roid use, and they're more open about like how to you know use it in a way to like get more fit, and like what the cost is effectively. So it's funny to see that being referenced here. This is a very weird, this is a very strange little it's a very strange slice of life. You have no TikTok either. Honestly, you're not missing much. I only have it to keep up with the times. Zoom they go, I say. The time the other residents spent charging these moving ground things, all for naught. My purpose is to increase entropy, and I can do this for her. The heat death shall come for us. I'll make sure it comes as soon as possible. Did you know acid is blind? Think that can happen to us too? Does a specter have that power? Or do you think it's just his? What about Yellow? He's always so jolly. Does he have a nice specter? Can ours be like that? Babe? Babe? Oh yeah, sorry. I'll let you finish your set. Oh shit. Oh god. It's so good. It's so good. This is someone who intimately understands the gym experience. Like, this is somebody who intimately understands the gym culture. Like, how funny it is to be inside of a gym. Because while you're doing a bench press and, like, someone's helping you stay alive so it doesn't fall on you, right? Because they're spotting you, you get, like, a glimpse of their ball sack. And they're talking to you about, like, the most inane shit ever while you're struggling to keep this thing from falling on your face. There's just something funny about this. Like, it's such a good microcosm of the world here. It's weird. And then the writing, though. The writing... The context in which the writing is placed feels like somebody who intimately understands life as it is on the streets, like on the go, and like with normal people. Their writing strikes me as somebody who has lived their entire life on Tumblr. It's like two diametrically opposed sides that have merged into a single human being that's made this game that is resulted in peak. And it's actually beautiful in its own like weird fucking way. I did it. 5 kilos each hand up in the air like my pupaw, then down fast. Bam, like he did. Pupaw, Mima, pupaw. Chat, it's time to listen to the next journal entry.
It takes time for residents to complete their assimilation. For this reason, I strive to accommodate their needs. Complex give it so I may take it. Complex give it so you may live in peace till damnation.
And to go from this, because again, I didn't plan the religious element of today's stream. I just wanted to show you some funny things that happen to come from the Catholic Church. I didn't know we'd be playing a game about eternal damnation, okay? I didn't know this. So the fact that we go from the Catholic Church with like Father Justin, who is no longer a father because he told people about you can baptize your children in Gatorade, so the AI is no longer like a ordained priest, into Covenant Eyes with the ad where the superhero, his super weakness is porn, to this. This is another masterpiece in the making. Like, I need a librarian in my life. I'm currently editing some things from the blueprint stuff and just trying to go back to see what like the various segments are. But I'm realizing the problem with editing my stuff is that the jokes go hours. The jokes take hours of consumption. It's like you have to be here from the beginning to understand how we got here. Like, if you weren't here from day one, you have to be... Like, if you went here from the very first minute of the stream, you have no clue why we're here and why I'm talking about porn. You have no clue. And you don't even know the connection between porn, Superman, and this game. There is a connection. A loose one, but a connection. Not even super porn, just normal porn. I mean, this is the thing, right? If Superman... Okay, this is the thing that I've always wondered. Superman is just a normal dude for all intents and purposes. He just happens to be really strong, right? So it makes sense that he likes normal things, right? It's the same way that he can't ever nut instead of Lois, because if he ever nuts instead of Lois, the nut will like exit from her body like a laser and she'll like die, right? But then it's like, if you think about what that means, right? What is super porn? Because super porn would be superheroes doing weird things to like have sex with. It'd be like The Boys in the way that like the you know that scene in The Boys when he drinks the milk? Like that's super porn. And normal porn is like way more... Basically, God fears super porn more than he fears porn, right? And I feel like, you know, a good God-fearing Catholic person would be more accepting of normal porn if they knew about the super porn genre. Call to the devil, and the devil said, "Quit. Can't be bothered. Better handle your shit." Okay, that's actually so topical. Keep about your wits, man. Keep about your wits. Know yourself and who you came in with. Can I sit down? I've been hustling all day. I can't count how many souls I've made off the same deal you're on. Remember, the devil ain't a friend to no one. But fine, true. But fine, true. This game really is made by somebody who spends their entire life writing on Tumblr and like Wattpad. Working out, eh? Feels good for a while. I lost the spark a while ago. This place seemed like a dream. A nightmare, maybe. My prison? My spectre tells me so. He is cruel, but never shows himself. He won't leave me. That's the price I paid. For what I did. You know what it is? This is what happens when you don't use Covenant Eyes and the shame stays with you. The shame morphs into whatever wrote this game. Because that sentence that character just said implies a shame about his existence. Which says to me that this entire thing is an exercise in like navigating shame in some way. Like, think about that. This whole game is about navigating shame in some way. What the hell was that? It scared me that I went back inside the gym. Sorry. I feel like the gym is a safe space for me. And it sort of makes you wonder, like, how do you come up with this from your mind? I can't even begin to imagine the steps that you'd have to take to make something like this. That's how good this is. That somebody somehow willed this into existence in some way. And I commend them on it. Because I feel like they've just made a masterpiece here. I'm dead. I think it moves fast. I think it moves like really fast. I can see it being kind of annoying if it moves super fast, because then it's like it's annoying to have to wander around, and then it's annoying to have to remember your pathway, especially with the snow mechanic. The hands are a bit weird in that, like, it's the same problem that you have when you're trying to do like rub your tummy and like pat your head. Your left finger wants to do what your right finger does, but like that only works in certain contexts. Why is it so zoomed in? Are we the house party? What is this? What is the music so hardcore?
Fleeing from his own force, striving to change the world. He sought to cure all ailments with the primeval power of the oxyride. Nucleic acid,
DNA.
This was not accepted by his peers in his development. Changing only the university, acquiring
embryonic specimens?
Various health limits through medical needs. So like all the good faith he had built as a child body. After his stint in prison, he fled eradicate Pennywell. No, he's doomed to degeneracy and spends his time united for content creators and masturbating to unseen.
I can't. That game is amazing. I'm not stopping to play the demo because it's like, oh, because I couldn't handle it or because it was bad. It's genuinely good. I would say both demos that we played today were fantastic in their own rights. The way that ended off on the masturbation note, like I just could not, like you just can't plan this, man. You can't plan the trajectory of like today's stream, where we go from like Catholicism, a fake AI like Catholic priest, into how to stop watching pornography together as a whole chat, into the game talking about Piotr running away and discovering DNA, and then masturbating to like pictures on like Rule 34 side of Tumblr. That sentence was genetically engineered to break you, and it broke me. It actually broke me. But that was an amazing game. I think Complex 69 has something there as well. It's crazy. It's like, again, this is why you should listen to people when they say, hey, when they ask you to play their game, you should listen to them, because they know what you like more than you know yourself. I think it's absolutely worth it for you to just go in and try these things and just see how it goes. What a fantastic, fantastic game. I'm actually excited to see what the full version of it is, because it's just so weird.